Hello, we're going to tell a story about Little Red Riding Hood. And to help me is my beautiful daughter here.
Cleaver. I have
And
no
my
teeth. Look.
other beautiful little daughter here.
I don't know. I don't know the teeth.
Yeah, you have loads of teeth. Okay, once upon a
Sorry,
time.
but if this is silly, sorry for interrupting. Was that silly? Sorry.
Once upon a time,
It's supposed to be
there
silly.
was this little girl called Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mommy said to Little Red Riding Hood, "Okay, Little Red Riding Hood, your granny is very sick and I want you to bring some nice sandwiches and some chicken soup, and what else did you want to bring? Some bananas and some nice cup of tea
And a banana split. Ha!
and a nice big piece of cake, and bring it over to your granny over the other side of the woods and make her feel nice and strong and better because she's feeling a bit sick."
Yeah. Why can I bring it in?
But be very careful, Little Red Riding Hood. Don't talk to strangers on the way. Go straight to your granny's house and no messing, okay?
Like how?
Okay, said Little Red Riding Hood. I will do that, Mummy. So off Little Red Riding Hood went. And as she was going through the forest with her lovely basket of goodies, she came across some beautiful flowers. And she picked some of the flowers and she thought, my granny will love these flowers, she thought. And she picked a nice bunch of flowers, and then just over a little bit off the path, she seen some other beautiful, gorgeous pink and blue flowers, and she thought, I'll just get some of them as well. And then she kind of got a little bit lost, and she didn't know where she was. And along came a stranger, and the stranger was dressed up in a man's clothes. But it wasn't really a stranger, it was really the wolf pretending to be a man. And the wolf came in, and the wolf came over to Little Red Riding Hood and he said, "Hello, little girl, what are you doing?" And Little Red Riding Hood forgot what her mommy had after telling her, and she said, I am...
I am going to my grandma's house with some putties for my poo-poo.
With some putties? I don't know what putties are. And the wolf was feeling very hungry actually, and he thought, I'd like to eat this girl up right now. But maybe if she's going to her granny, then I can go and eat the granny for dinner and have her for dessert, because I'm very hungry and this would be great. So the wolf said, why don't you just go straight down this way here, around the bend, by the big tree, and
mean big flower plant thing?
And that's a shortcut to your granny's house.
But my mom said no shortcut.
So Little Red Riding Hood said, oh, thank you, strange man, and off she went to her granny's house. Meanwhile, the big bad wolf went the real short way and ran as fast as he could to the granny's house, and he knocked on the door like this. And the granny was expecting Little Red Riding Hood, and she said, hello. And the wolf was pretending to be Little Red Riding Hood, and he said, hello, it's Little Red Riding Hood. There's our telephone.
Said the big bad wolf.
And Granny's telephone went as well. And she says, hang on a little minute, Little Red Riding Hood, will I answer the telephone? So she answered the telephone, and it was a salesman trying to sell some things that were very strange, and she didn't want them at all.
And they were boo-boo and wee-wee and puppies.
Stop,
it's trying to be a funny story.
So she said, come in, my dear. And in came the wolf, and she could see it was the wolf straight away, and the wolf jumped on the granny and said, I'm going to eat you up. And just then he could hear Little Red Riding Hood coming, so he got the granny and he threw her in the wardrobe, and he said, Granny, you be quiet and stay in there, or else I'll bite your head off. So he locked her in the wardrobe, and then the wolf hopped into the bed, into Granny's bed, and pretended to be the granny, and put on the granny's nightcap and the granny's nightie, and tucked himself into the bed, so all that was peeping out was the big bad wolf's face. And then Little Red Riding Hood knocked on the door, And the big bad wolf said, "Hello, who is it?" And Little Red Riding Hood said, "It's me, Little Red Riding Hood.
With some Irish dancing shoes for
Come
you
in,
to eat.
Come in, my dear," said the big bad wolf, pretending to be the granny. And Little Red Riding Hood came in. She took one look at the big bad wolf, pretending to be the granny, and she said, "Granny."
No, I was saying, Granny, what big eyes you have. They're big and humongous.
"All the better to see you with, my dear," said the big bad wolf, pretending to be the granny. "But Granny,
Oh, but Granny,
big
ears you have. They grown like monsters since the last time I seen you."
"All the better to hear you with, my dear," said the big bad wolf, pretending to be the granny. And then Little Red Riding Hood said, "But Granny,
What big teeth you have. They look like you're gonna eat me.
all the better to eat your head," said the big bad wolf.
But then the woodcutter came in and said,
Just then, the big woodcutter, who was outside, heard all this commotion and ran into the house and chopped the big bad wolf's head off and got the granny out of the wardrobe, and then they had a lovely little picnic with all the nice things that Little Red Riding Hood had brought. And they all had a nice little laugh about everything, and they thought, wasn't that a very funny thing to have the big bad wolf hopping into bed and all that? And then they had a nice cup of tea and some cake, and they lived happily ever after, and they had a lovely time after that. That was great. Bye! Bye-bye! Say bye-bye!